Montana vast, quiet, and breathtaking, a place where nature hides its secrets well. But in the shadows of Missoula's misty valleys, one man hunted in silence for over a decade. A killer no one suspected. He wasn't a drifter. He wasn't a mystery stranger. He was the man delivering your furniture, smiling at your door. Between 1974 and 1986, at least 6 people vanished or were brutally murdered, each crime stranger, crueler and eerily close to home. The man behind them, Wayne Nance. Locals would come to know him as the Missoula Mauler, and the way his reign of terror finally ended was nothing short of cinematic justice. Our story begins in 1974. Donna Lorraine Pounds, 39 years old, a loving mother, church volunteer, and part-time bookstore worker. She lived in a quiet home outside West Riverside, Montana. Everyone knew her as kind, trusting, the type of woman who left her door unlocked. One of her son's friends often dropped by, a shy, polite young man named Wayne Nance. He smiled easily, helped with chores, and sometimes lingered longer than he should. Donna thought he was just a troubled teen needing kindness. But behind that polite grin, something dark was stirring. 39-year-old white woman, shoulder-length chestnut hair, soft brown eyes, gentle smile, dressed in modest 1970s attire, floral blouse and beige skirt, seen in warm daylight inside a suburban Montana home. Cinematic tone, Wayne Nance, 18-year-old white male, medium build, messy brown hair, piercing blue eyes, faint smirk. Wearing denim jacket, plaid shirt underneath. Expression, calculating calmness, lit by afternoon light through curtains. On April 11th, 1974, Donna Pounds returned home around 3:30 p.m. She never made it to dinner. Wayne was waiting, armed with her husband's .22 caliber rifle, latex gloves, and a rope from a gym bag. He tied her to the bed, raped her, then dragged her to the basement. 5 bullets ended her life. Her husband came home hours later to find his wife bound, lifeless, and brutalized. Police believed it was personal, but they couldn't prove who did it. And Wayne Nance, he walked away clean. Police suspected Donna's husband. He'd been having an affair, but there was one witness. A neighbor saw Wayne near the house that day, carrying a black gym bag. Still, with no fingerprints, no confession, and no DNA technology, the case went cold. By the time investigators looked back, Wayne Nance had already moved on, joining the Navy, traveling across the country, and possibly killing again. For years, Montana saw a trail of missing girls. Runaways, drifters, young women whose names would later become nicknames. Betty Beavertail, Debbie Deer Creek, Christy Crystal Creek. Each body was found in the wilderness near Missoula. Each death violent, and every time, the killer vanished like a ghost. At one point, investigators thought they already had their man. Another Montana murderer, David Meerhofer, had confessed to 4 killings. But as DNA and forensics evolved decades later, the truth began to resurface. The monster wasn't gone. He was still out there, delivering furniture. In 1985, the killings turned from the woods to homes. That December, a Montana couple, Michael and Teresa Shook, were found slaughtered in their house. Their children survived, locked in a room. The killer had returned hours later to rob them, stealing small items before setting the house ablaze. When investigators searched for clues, they found something chilling. Furniture delivered days earlier by Wayne Nance. Inside his home, police would later discover stolen Shook family possessions and photos of young women who would later be identified as victims. By 1986, Wayne had become obsessed with a woman named Chris Wells, the wife of a co-worker. He followed her, photographed her, even kept handwritten notes saying, "I love you. I want you to live with me." On the night of September 3rd, 1986, Wayne crept through the bushes outside the Wells home, waiting. When her husband, Doug, confronted him, Wayne lied, claimed he saw someone else outside. Moments later, inside the home, he pulled his gun. He tied them both up. He stabbed Doug in the chest, left him for dead, and dragged Chris upstairs. But Doug didn't die. Bleeding, he broke free, loaded a single bullet into a rifle, and waited at the top of the basement stairs. As Wayne returned, Doug fired. One shot into the side. A struggle followed, more shots rang out, and when it was over, Wayne Nance lay dying on the floor. His reign had ended where it began, in someone else's home. Wayne Nance died the next day from his wounds, never standing trial for a single murder. But once police searched his home, the puzzle came together. Photos of missing women, stolen keepsakes, weapons hidden beneath floorboards. Investigators linked him to at least 6 murders. But deep down, they believed the number was far higher. Even today, cold case detectives in Montana revisit unsolved disappearances, asking the same haunting question. How many more victims were there?
Actually catch him this time.
In the end, justice didn't come from the system. It came from survival. Doug and Chris Wells lived, and their courage stopped one of America's most dangerous hidden killers. In the quiet forests of Missoula, the echoes of Wayne Nance's crimes still whisper, a reminder that sometimes evil doesn't come from the dark. It comes from the man next door.